Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Spectro, the misunderstood, underappreciated sidekick of Spectro, is about to step out of its shadows. Forget the old days of meh frazzletics, because Wuthering Waves 2.3 is about to rewrite this narrative, turning that spark into an all-consuming inferno that no one will be able to ignore. And you know who's leading the charge? The one, the only, Zani. Forget everything you thought you know about Spectro Frazzle. Forget the endless stacks of Frazzle slowly ticking away in the background like an old sitcom laugh track. Enter Zani, the new queen of Spectro, the true Frazzle carry that will make Phoebe havers appear like they made a great decision. So, you thought you had your carry? You thought Jinhsi and Zhezhi were your golden duo? Well, here comes Zani, strutting in like she owns the place, ready to make your Spectro Frazzle team more lethal than you ever imagined. Phoebe's been waiting for a carry like this for ages, and now she's finally going to get it. The rest of us, we've just been along for the ride watching as Zani takes that metaphorical match and burns everything to the ground. Get ready to meet the new face of Spectro in Wuthering Waves, because if you thought Frazzle was just an afterthought, Zani is here to show you just how deadly it can actually be. On paper, Zani looks like a Spectro unit with a unique dodge skill that doesn't reset her attack combos. But in practice, she's an art form, she's a philosophy, she's the answer to the question, what if Frazzle wasn't just a side effect but the main attraction? She walks into the battlefield with her intro skill, Immediate Execution, aptly named because if you're an enemy, that's exactly what's about to happen. She swings, she builds energy, and boom, you've got redundant energy. That's right, redundant, as if you were never needed in the first place. Then comes her normal attack chain, 4 hits of Spectro saturated righteousness. But the real spice comes after her 3rd strike. Time your input like you're defusing a bomb, and you get a bonus hit, a basic attack breakthrough. You can even dodge into it like some kind of martial artist in a philosophical kung fu anime. Zani's resonant skill, Restless Watch, is where things stop being reasonable and start becoming downright disrespectful. This isn't your standard stand there and take it parry. No, this is Zani entering a Zen-like trance where the concept of taking damage becomes so beneath her, it simply ceases to apply. And when she decides it's time to counterattack, she doesn't retaliate, she unleashes a punishment so Spectro-infused the enemy might start reconsidering their life choices. Now, pump that full of redundant energy and you've unlocked the absurdly titled Complete Annihilation Protocol. The name alone screams, don't try this at home kids, but Zani does, and with flair. One long press and the battlefield becomes her personal art installation of obliteration. This ultimate flex kicks her into Blade Wielder mode, where Spectro Frazzle goes from a quiet mechanic to a full-blown existential threat. In Blade Wielder mode, each Frazzle-infused strike doesn't just hit harder, it hits philosophically. Zani doesn't just make Spectro Frazzle viable, she turns it into an ideology. She isn't boosting damage, she is the damage itself. Moving up to her Resonance Liberation, Between Dawn and Dusk. It sounds poetic, but it's more like a Spectro supernova in motion. She enters Inferno mode, cranks up her Blaze Cap, and unleashes a combo of Daybreak, Dawning, and Nightfall. Each hit flashier and deadlier than the last. Once her blaze runs dry, she ends with Judgment Day, a Spectro explosion so absurd it might as well be an extinction event. No one's walking away from this. Zani doesn't exit the stage, she levels it. But here's where Zani gets spicy. Her Forte circuit, There Will Be a Light, doesn't just let her use a Spectro Frazzle, it turns her into a Frazzle black hole. She absorbs it from allies and transmutes it into Scorching Ember, which becomes Blaze, and that Blaze powers her Inferno combos like jet fuel in a flamethrower. She doesn't politely ask for synergy, she hijacks it. You wanna run Phoebe or Spectro Rover? Sure, go ahead. Zani will happily feast on their hard-earned frazzle, grin, and unleash a light show. So explosive, it's classified as overkill. Once she hits Inferno mode, her skill mutates into a blazing sequence of destruction. Daybreak, Dawning, and Nightfall becomes even deadlier as if the Spectro Frazzle wreckage wasn't already enough. Every stage consumes Blaze and doles out more pain. Scaling in power the more you frazzle. It's beautiful, it's brutal, and if you're not careful, you might get cooked alongside the enemies. Because Zani doesn't deal damage, she commits a Spectro arson with style. Her outro skill, Anchor for the Future, is basically Zani's version of a mic drop. She leaves the stage with one last massive hit of Spectro Frazzle damage and paints a big glowing target on the enemy, letting your next character dish out even more pain. It's not support, people, it's setting the stage for the encore beatdown. Zani's inherent skills pull no punches. After triggering her intro skill, she immediately buffs herself with a 12% increase to Spectro damage. A clear sign she's not just here to fight, she's here to dominate. And during Inferno mode, she takes 20% less damage because apparently even the universe knows it's not fair to interrupt an artist mid-performance. Let me try to break down Zani's playstyle flow for you in the simplest way possible. Start things off with her intro skill or resonance skill to generate redundant energy. This is your starting point for everything. Once you've got that energy, parry or block with the resonance skill to gain buffs and, of course, more energy. This sets up Zani's powerhouse moves. With that energy in hand, you'll enter Blade Wielder mode where things get really interesting. This mode amplifies her abilities, boosting both effects and damage. Next, you'll want to build up Blaze by converting Spectro Frazzle from your allies into fuel. Zani doesn't just passively soak up Frazzle, she turns it into a deadly resource that powers her up. When your Blaze is high enough, enter Inferno mode. This is where Zani goes into overdrive, unleashing special attacks that hit harder and leave devastation in their wake. The magic happens in Inferno mode where Zani's combos become even more lethal, dealing massive Spectro Frazzle damage with every strike. Finally, when it's time to end the chaos, Zani finishes her rampage with Judgment Day, unleashing a final burst of destruction as she exits Inferno mode. Zani is not here to babysit your team. She is not your support crutch. She is not your emotional bandage. Zani is a battle-hardened, frazzle-fueled war goddess arriving in version 2.3 this May. And she means business and is here to make sure that you start respecting a Spectro Frazzle. If you thought Spectro is already good, prepare to get vaporized by reality. Because Zani isn't a support, she's a Spectro Renaissance forged in fire and time parries. She doesn't want to save you, she wants you to deserve being saved. She's basically WuWa's answer to Chuck Norris. So, if you enjoyed this descent into Zani-fueled chaos, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell for future content. Leave a comment if you're ready to abandon healing circles and start parrying your way to Spectro greatness. And remember, when version 2.3 drops, you're either with Zani or in her way. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.